that Santa's coming tomorrow. Yeah, he freaks out.
I know him.
Welcome back, everyone, to Movie Night with the Youngs. This week, we are doing the movie Elf. I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
And I'm Brittany.
And as you can see, we do have a special guest with us here today. This is our brother, Dominic.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, the youngest of three, Dominic here, first guest on the podcast. Very happy to be here. So say we get right into it, huh?
Yeah.
That's too long of an intro. We're very janky. We've been trying really hard to make this work. You guys know we're mom and pop, but literally we are going to just pass the microphone because that's how it's going to work.
Yep, unfortunately, but we'll roll with it. So as I said, we are doing Elf this week, and Elf is from 2003. Director is Jon Favreau, starring Will Ferrell, Zooey Deschanel, and James Caan. Sorry, I have my notes down here, so if you see me looking down.
Mom and pop.
But essentially, this movie is about an elf named Buddy, played by Will Ferrell, who, as a young child, he's in an orphanage. He ends up sneaking into Santa's bag, and Santa brings him back to the North Pole. When he realizes that Buddy comes out, he decides to actually keep him at the North Pole and essentially have a human elf with them. And it goes through the story of him being raised at the North Pole by Santa and Papa Elf, and then realizes that he has a dad that's in New York City. And Buddy goes back to New York City and tries to find his dad. And it's the story about, him finding his dad and introducing himself to his new family. So
cute.
Yeah, it's very cute.
I've got some questions to start off. Are we ready? Why did not Santa raise Buddy himself? Santa is a human, right? Everybody else on the North Pole is elves. Why didn't Santa raise him himself?
Because Papa Elf says in his voiceover that Papa Elf wanted a baby and he didn't have time to settle down. So Santa gave him to the next elf who wanted to have a child.
Yeah, plus Santa's too busy.
Yeah, that's like a cat trying to raise a dog,
Love is love.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go with that.
Santa's too busy.
All right.
But essentially, the movie does start with Buddy the elf and how he interacts with the other elves at the North Pole. So they show that, he's very different. Obviously, he's a human acting as an elf. So they show how he's humongous compared to all the other little elves. And he's not very good at being an elf either, which is really sad.
No, well, that's the thing. He's not good at being an elf, but for what he's doing, he's actually doing a good job because, he makes 85 Etch-a-Sketches in a day.
True, but that's not fast enough according to the elves quota.
When he gets to New York, he's not good at elf tasks in the North Pole, but when he gets to New York, back in, I guess, I don't know. I keep on thinking it's like a different continent or something. It's like a different galaxy or something. But when he gets to New York, he's doing things really cool, right? Well, because they show him jump on a little iceberg, right? And how are you floating from the North Pole to New York? I'm not good with geography, but how did that go down?
I don't know.
He didn't float from the North Pole to New York. He floated through the Candy Cane Fort. There was some other mythical places he had to go through, but you could probably float just up and around Greenland and then down around Massachusetts, and then you get to New York.
Mm-hmm.
That's great geography. But back to what I was saying, he did a really great job when he got to the mainland, I would say. He made 100 snowballs in that snowball fight.
Dominic, you were jumping around the movie
way too fast.
Start off from the beginning?
Yeah. Yes. Hello. Clearly, he's not been listening to our past episodes.
Right.
Shame. You should be supporting us.
Seriously.
Chronology? What's the word?
Yes.
Chronology.
We're back at the North Pole right now.
Yeah.
As an elf.
We'll start from step one for those of you who have not seen Elf. We'll start here.
Yes.
Wow.
As we reel it back in, Buddy the elf is at the North Pole, and then so he finds out basically that he's got a dad in New York.
Yes, that he's a human, not an elf.
Yes, and he
not the nicest dad.
Yeah, and he freaks out when Santa tells him that his dad's on the naughty list.
Yeah, but hold on, wait. Before we leave the North Pole, I really enjoyed that Jon Favreau and the production team of this movie wanted to make the North Pole look like what we all think the North Pole looks like based off of old Christmas movies. Mm-hmm. They have all the claymation guys from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the narwhal, the snowman. Everything there looks like the old movies that we watched growing up.
That's very true.
It looks like a snow globe to me. When you look into a snow globe from back in the day, the early 90s and whatnot, That's basically what it looks like to me.
Snow globes in the early 90s, like they haven't been around forever?
Not before my time. I mean, I would think
specifically 90s snow globes.
Specifically 90s snow globes.
He's a 90s baby.
Do you have a snow globe? Do you have a snow globe?
I don't think
If you guys have snow globes, go look at them. Let me know what you think.
Put it down in the comments, YouTubers. Put it down in the comments.
But now we're to the part where basically Buddy is going to leave the North Pole.
Yes, to go find his dad.
Yes, and he travels through, his candy cane forest.
Yeah, which is genius, what Dominic was saying, on that little piece of ice that does melt by the time he gets.
Yeah, it's 2
snowball.
feet. He jumps off.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's my. I'm going to be a question person. I want you to think while you're watching this movie, because there's a lot of things that didn't make sense to me. So while he's in the North Pole and he finally figures out that he's a human, it starts to dawn on him. He gets really dizzy when he overhears the other elves talking.
Who picked him up off of the elf?
What do you mean?
Cool, that was not your question.
Oh, okay. Why could they not? They're elves, right? They're good at wood making. They make anything out of anything. Why would they give him still a short bed? They could just make a taller bed.
Maybe the room's not big enough.
The room is big enough.
Isn't that showing that he actually isn't an elf? Like, he wanted to be like the elves, so he wanted to do everything the elves did.
True, and make him question who he is more. But I don't know. It looked very uncomfortable with two tiny mattresses put together.
Well, that, and he's sitting on that one scene where he sits on the little tiny toilet.
Yeah, and his knees are literally in the sink, which I just experienced at a restaurant in LA. Went into the bathroom and sat down and literally could wash my hands while I was sitting on the toilet because the sink was that close.
You can multitask.
So let's go back to the plans, building that one. All right, talk to OSHA about that. It's not too sanitary.
But essentially, he does make it to New York City, and they do show like where he's going through that tunnel, which
that's the Holland Tunnel.
Is it? Well, it makes me feel bad for him because he actually legit looks scared of the traffic and
no cars. It could have been a spaceship. He's never seen a car before or any type of traffic. I don't even know if they had sleds or polar bears pulling people around the North Pole, but as a human, he could probably walk around the North Pole within 5 minutes because it looked pretty small to me.
Yeah.
Apparently, Will Ferrell actually did that. Like, that wasn't like they held traffic like they do in other movies. Like, he actually, it was like a small camera crew that they just went through, and he really walked that little catwalk.
That's pretty cool. But when he gets to New York, his map is basically the snow globe. He's like, your dad works in this building. And
the Empire State Building.
Yeah, so he's wandering around New York trying to find this building.
Yeah, which makes me actually think, I forget that people actually work in the Empire State Building and that it's a functioning building and then it's not just there for props. I've been in the Empire State Building and I mean, it's cool, but like, I forget people work there and it's not just for like rom-coms and other movies, Christmas movies.
True.
What actually goes on in the Empire State Building?
Work.
Well, what kind of work?
All kinds of work.
I feel like a lot of lawyers. A lot of legal.
If you need an office, the Empire State Building has it.
For business. But essentially, he finds the building, and he's ready to meet his dad, Walter, who is
on the naughty list.
Yes, he's on the naughty list. He doesn't have a lot of Christmas spirit. Doesn't really treat his employees very well. He works for, is it a publishing company?
Yes,
Greenway. Yes. Greenway Publishing,
like children's books. It looks like. He's obviously not the creative one out of the bunch.
No.
Either
are his writers. I'll tell you that. I mean, he needs to go back to the drawing board.
That's true.
Deborah's like declawing cats. His assistant.
Yeah.
Which she says, bring them by the trailer. Which I'm like, you're living in a trailer in New York and not an apartment.
Yeah.
Deborah's not getting paid enough.
Very true.
Clearly.
I thought it was like one of those like a mobile unit. We'll pull up the car and you bring your pets to us, and we'll clean them in the van.
Could we?
So you think Deborah also has a mobile cat declawing van?
She looks like
she does it on the side.
Amy Sedaris, she's a treasure.
But he does get into the building and looks for his dad, and basically his assistant thinks that he's a Christmas gram.
Yeah.
Which does sound tasty. If you don't know what a Christmas gram is, like he didn't know what it was. He says, I want one. Sounds pretty good.
Like if you just heard what it was.
Here's a Christmas gram. Oh, nice.
Yeah. But he goes into the office and basically introduces himself as, I'm your son, Buddy. And he thinks it's a joke, his dad, the whole time.
Yeah,
He thinks
until he
it's a
says
Christmas
his mom's name.
Yeah. And then he's like, aren't you going to sing or something? And he ends up singing this super sad song about how
you're my dad and I came so far to see you.
Yeah.
Poor Betty.
It's
Susan
very
Wells,
sad.
right? Susan Wells, is that the mom's name? Mm-hmm.
And even at the end, his dad, when he says the name, it sparks like, yeah, there's some connection there, but this is still probably a joke.
Yeah, you're not well.
Yeah. And he gets kicked out.
He's dressed up in an elf costume in the middle of New York. I mean, we know there's a lot of people with some hardships going on down there, but to me, it sounds like an everyday thing.
Yeah. Well, and it's around Christmas time, so no one thinks anything of it.
No.
He's just walking around in a costume.
Yeah.
And ends up finding it's a department store.
Well, his dad says, oh no, when the security kicks him out, they say return to Gimbel's.
Yeah, which is the department store.
Yeah, which I looked up because I'd never heard of Gimbel's before, but it actually was a department store for like 100 years. And then they closed down in 1987, 88. And they ended up using them for the film because they were a department store, but now they're not working anymore. They're not open anymore. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, he does find this department store and he goes through like that first level where the lady's giving out perfume samples.
Well, that was the world famous Macy's. Then he worked his way up.
No, it's still in Gimbel's.
Yeah, it just looks like
the same.
Macy's.
That's what it is. It's that's old school department stores. Is they have all that stuff downstairs and then they go upstairs and it's like each level is something different.
Yeah,
I was thinking this whole time that was the world famous Macy's. That is very interesting.
Yeah, Gimbel's
like that. We need to bring Gimbel's back.
Yeah,
the internet.
Yeah,
internet ruined all the department stores.
Do what you do. Do what you do.
But he accepts the perfume sample and just basically eats it, like sprays it in his mouth and freaks out in the store. So that kind of gives you the background about how he definitely has been isolated in the North Pole and nothing of our everyday lives in New York is familiar to him at all.
No.
But then he makes his way up to the toy floor.
But how?
Well, no, that's not. Yeah.
How did he make his way up there?
The whole elevator scene. Elevator, escalator.
Well, he wasn't New York. I'm thinking Empire State Building, bring it back when he makes the Christmas tree out of the elevator. All 97.
Oh, yeah.
You're jumping forward in the movie, Dominic.
Yeah. This is no, that was before. That was when he first went to go meet his dad. Mm-hmm. But back to the escalator, doing the splits like a gymnast. Yeah,
It's dangerous.
Well, and another part where you feel bad for him because he legit looks scared to get on this escalator.
Yeah,
I think the funniest moment in that is you see people sometimes who are hesitant to do something and they turn around. Oh, you can go first. I'm about to. Oh, no, you can go. Maybe 15 people were just actually at one point start watching him and are literally like, you need to go. And that's what makes it leave.
It reminds me of in Japan, where in Japan, Japanese people are very much, I need to get to point A to point B. I'm not going to stop. If you're in front of me, I'm going to go around you. Escalators. If somebody can't get off, they will just still shimmy behind you. Like not even try to like get off. They will just get off because they're trying to get to point A. That's what it made me think of, where it was like people were like, yeah, like you need to get on the escalator. I don't care how you get on. You better just get on because I need to get upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, he's lucky they weren't like that when he had the revolving door scene. Else he probably would have got stuck in there.
Yeah. But he does eventually make it up to the toy level.
Well, he gets to the lingerie floor.
True.
And then the boss comes down and is just like, which also confused me because he comes down and he's like, you're supposed to be upstairs. And I'm like, do you not recognize your workers? Do you not recognize that he's not? But
he's not in a uniform.
No. Yeah. Actually, I think they might provide their own uniforms because none of them are in uniforms that match. So I think they might have brought their own, and he was just like, "Oh, this is just a seasonal gig. You have your own elf costume. We hire you."
Yeah, true.
I mean, it looked pretty good regardless. I mean, I would probably make the confusion, the mix up there.
But he does go along with it.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, I'm sorry, I made you mad.
Are you mad at me?
He was very excited to be following someone that was being nice to him. I felt no one yet in the movie was nice to him besides the secretary, but it was more of a joke kind of deal.
Yeah. But essentially makes it up to his
toy
level. And toy level. And he is in like paradise. He's in the North Pole, essentially. and thinks it's like Santa's workshop, which it's not at that point decorated up to his par.
No.
It's just a regular toy store, just like we would see.
Yeah, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Let's be real. It's kind of boring.
He, at this time, meets Jovi, and I how you pronounce her name? Jovi. One of the workers there, and you can tell has feelings for her right off the bat.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was that awe moment where she's at the top of the ladder putting the last piece on the Christmas tree, and then all of a sudden everything glows up with a nice, warm, welcoming light, and then he sees her. I think they portrayed that pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Like she's straight out of the North Pole.
Yeah. Played by Zooey Deschanel.
And she's very nice to him the whole time.
And she's blonde, and we're used to her being brunette and bangs.
Still a great voice, though. Always a great voice.
But he kind of acts like the managers basically essentially think he works there and makes the announcement that Santa's coming tomorrow. Yeah. He freaks out.
I know him.
Yes.
He freaks out. He feels like he has to basically prepare for Santa's arrival.
Illegally. He stays within the mall illegally, which is very hard to do.
Gimbals,
sure. Department store. It's probably a pretty good hiding spot. We never actually get to see where he hides, but I mean, he pops up like a bandit in the night with shears ready to cut some decorations.
He's making snowflakes, those paper snowflakes that you all made when we were little.
Lego towers. To be honest, when I watched it last night, I looked at it and it looks cool. Like the whole thing looks like a winter wonderland with the snow and the paper and everything. To be honest, I actually don't think it looks that great because it is so monochromatic. It's just like white everything with like a bit of silver. And to me, yeah, he's making it look like the North Pole because it's snow. But like for me, I'm just like, Christmas is color. It's red, white, blue, yellow. Like it is festive and it's bright. But like when I watched it yesterday, I was just like, this is kind of sad. Like I wouldn't have been impressed if I walked in as a kid. I would have been like, what? They forgot to color.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. There's an abundance of paper snowflakes, I think, too. Like almost too many. And not very many Christmas lights.
They're white. That's the thing. They're white. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not what we think Christmas is in our head. But Buddy, it is his Christmas.
Yes. And when they come in, at this time, it's almost like he forgot that he came for his dad.
Yeah. Because he found like-minded people.
Multiple storylines, side quest in the movie.
Yeah, that is true. And then he, the next day comes and
he's still in gimbals the next day.
Yeah.
Wakes up to singing, right? He hears music.
She's taking a shower at work.
Jovi is taking a shower at work.
What department store has showers?
Yeah.
But
where are you working that you have showers available that you can use? And why do you need to shower at work?
Because they shut her water off.
No. But I'm saying, like, why does a department store worker? Like, I get if your job was physical, but she's literally ringing up toys.
Yeah.
Why do you need a shower?
It's like the break room just has like a locker room, like
it looked like a nice
shower and get ready for work. Yeah. How do you get in there? That's the thing. Everything should be locked in the store.
Well, she's in there. They probably have keys.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like she's coming in when like employees come in the morning.
You would think we've never worked jobs where we were the opening or closing shift. We're like, how did you get into the place you work? How did you enter?
Security.
But she starts singing in the shower, and they've already kind of painted this picture of that she really can't sing in front of people, but she does like to sing.
Side note, Dominic is not just checking his phone for texts. He's reading his notes.
Yeah, I have notes on mine too. So
I just looked over and I'm like, I hope people are just like, oh my God, Dom's not even paying attention.
Yeah.
Very important man. But it's a lot of spelling errors. So I'm really having a look at the notes here.
Just her mom.
Yeah. But she sings and then he joins in with her.
An inappropriate song that has been canceled.
Just an inappropriate time too. Nowadays, you're sitting in the shower when someone else is in the shower. Yeah. I mean, that is some grounds for arrest.
True, but you get the sense that she kind of knows that he's a little bit off.
He's sweet,
where he doesn't. Yeah, he means no harm.
Yeah,
at all.
From the North Pole.
Yeah. So essentially, they just kind of brush that off and get to go upstairs, and lo and behold, famous Mr.
Oh, hold on, wait though, before we go on. So how when I wanted to ask, oh no, I guess we can talk about it later.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, he says oh, the only way to spread Christmas joy is for like The best way to send Christmas joy is to sing as loud as you can, or whatever the saying is.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? I have it written down.
For all to hear.
Yeah. Singing spreads Christmas cheer for all to hear, or something like that. But like, I thought about it, even her in the bathroom, she knows all the words to Baby It's Cold Outside. I don't think I know all the words to any Christmas song besides Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But you think you do because you've heard them so many times. But if you actually sing them, you're probably like, deck the halls it. Like, you just don't know all the words to Christmas songs.
It's just rhythmic. It's when you hear Christmas songs, you may not know the words, but it really makes you feel
like Christmas,
that warm Christmas feeling. So, I mean, I don't know a whole lot of songs anyway, but I mean,
but you should know Christmas songs because it's something you hear every single year. The same 20
the same songs.
You don't. You're right. It just sparks a feeling, but not necessarily the memory of words.
Which that's just kind of like, there are no iconic new Christmas songs.
Excuse me, Mariah Carey, how dare you?
Mariah's there, and we just saw her perform live a couple days ago. She's still in the mix,
but not in person. Don't act like you're special. It's on TV,
through the television.
She does all the same songs, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I agree. There will be no new Christmas song that will really hit like the classics because we've had the classics for a century.
Yeah.
But if anyone wants to try, we will listen.
We will. There's some pretty good Christmas remixes out there, but but Santa comes and he immediately knows it's not Santa and exposes that in front of the poor children
violently.
Yeah, very violently.
He did hold it together for a while, the fake Santa. He did hold it together to where the store manager actually comes in and saves the day. And Buddy doesn't even touch real Santa. He's just there to expose him, And when the store manager comes and tackles him, he's still sitting there like, it's not him. He's fake, making sure everybody knows.
You smell like beef and cheese.
Poor Santa. So they end up kicking him out and arresting him.
Well, giving him a restraining order,
basically. Puts him in, he goes to jail, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
puts
does.
him in jail. And his one phone call he gets, he calls his dad.
Who shows up.
How do you know his number?
I don't think he called. He must have had the police call.
Probably.
Just said the name. Yeah. Because they were even saying, the police said, you wouldn't answer, but you did. You came. I had one call, but you came.
Which is surprising he actually came. But I think it's because he knew the mom.
Yeah.
He's more intrigued.
So he's trying to figure out. Yeah.
The story for sure.
So he actually gets him out and he's like, come on, you need to come with me. And he goes to see his friend who's a doctor.
Who's actually director Jon Favreau.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Jon Favreau.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they run the DNA test and turns out Buddy is his son.
Yeah, and he's eating cotton balls and very disgustingly after he gets pricked on the finger, eats the cotton ball that he's been soaking the blood in.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean,
that's a safety hazard for sure. You know how dry that is? The cotton ball.
That's what you're concerned about? The dryness of the cotton ball, not that it's been soaking in blood.
It's his own blood. It's fine. The science back then, it's okay.
Dominic, it's not that long ago. You keep on making things.
2006? 2003?
2003.
I was 11 years old. That's quick math. And I'm not good at math, guys. That's quick math, right? 11.
I'm not good at math, so I can't check that for you with a calculator.
3. I don't know. I don't think that's right math.
Okay. So first of all, it's not. You would have been 10 still, but
that's pretty good math, though. That's pretty good.
Anyways, finds out he's his son and then he brings him back home to his wife and child.
Yes, with our dad's crush, Mary Sternenberger.
Is he really?
Oh yeah.
I don't know that.
Oh yeah. One of his many, well, not many, but one of his celebrity crushes.
And she welcomes Buddy with open arms. Like she's excited that there's this new kid in his life. And he says like he thinks he's an elf.
Yeah. We actually could put her in the, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago with Mary Ellen Trainor from Little Giants. I feel like Mary she's everybody's mom. She just plays a mom and she's so warm and welcoming and sweet. And yeah, she's just like in every movie. And you're like, oh, they're going to be safe because Mary's there.
Yeah.
I mean, she got a little loose in Step Brothers. She definitely got a little loose.
But she was still the mom.
She was. But there was some parts where she wasn't so sweet.
Yeah.
We love her.
Yeah. But she opens, welcomes him into their home. Even the son.
Michael.
Yeah. I feel like he initially has kind of a little bit of an attitude like, this guy's weird. What's happening? But they build upon it eventually.
When they eat dinner, well, first of all, Buddy decorates the house like he did the store. But when they eat dinner, I laugh so hard because that burp, I feel like I could pull off. I burp pretty intense. And I feel like after that, I was like, I could beat that.
Definitely had some.
It was like 30 seconds long.
Well, it had some who cares how long it was? It was just the vibrations to it, really.
I almost thought it would have been a good idea if we should try it on camera if we could drink the Coke that fast. Dominic.
What the heck? This
gross. And also, I was trying to do it. Oh, I definitely could, but I won't.
End scenes. Leave us a comment if you guys want to see just an extra video of the elf challenge. Let's start it. The elf challenge. I was like, what's that? It's like, oh, wasn't there a Sprite challenge? Don't do that. That sounded like it hurt. People were drinking Sprite not too long ago, a couple months ago. They were it was see if you can finish a whole bottle of Sprite without burping. And it was just tearing people up.
That does sound.
Oh, not without burping. Maybe a whole bottle of Sprite.
Yeah.
Sprite is spicy.
Spicy.
Why is it spicy?
Well, now that we've determined the important part of this movie.
Let us know if you guys want to see that. We'll bring it back.
But he ends up staying there. And you get the impression he's probably going to be there for a while.
Where did he get those pajamas from? But he's literally sleeping in bed in a giant adult onesie, footy pajamas, and sleeping cap.
Maybe he brought it with him.
He had no bags.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Magic. Santa's magic.
He's not an elf.
But he gets the magic.
Where did he get the pajamas, Jack?
But he wakes up, and I feel like this is one of the more iconic scenes from Elf when he makes breakfast. And he makes he's obsessed with sugar and candy and makes the leftover spaghetti with a bunch of syrup on it.
M&M's, chocolate sauce, Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
I think the staples in the North Pole, from what he says allegedly, was candy canes, candy corn, syrup, and it was 4. So we're missing 1. Candy.
I don't remember.
Could just be candy.
I think it was just candy. You're right. We got it.
But candy corn is more of a Halloween candy.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's a joke.
Yeah. But after that, they leave him home alone for the day, hoping that he's going to just stay home, which is not realistic. But she makes the mistake of giving him,
Dominic.
She makes the mistake of giving her dad's cell phone number, his dad's phone number to him, and he's calling that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Which is what we probably did when we were younger, when our mom would just be like, leaving you alone, here's this list of numbers. And we're like, Mom, can I have this for eat? Can I eat this, Mom? It's not an emergency.
I never asked.
What? But how did we call her? We didn't have cell phones.
But we had landlines. Do you think she was just leaving us out in the wilderness with no?
I don't remember calling her when we were home.
Oh, maybe it was just me.
I think our mom's work phone is still one of the only phone numbers I remember other than our house phone.
Same.
No, we never called her.
We did.
Clearly, I was an independent child.
Well, she just ate what she wanted and did what she wanted, you know.
Oh, didn't ask permission.
But he ends up going to work with his dad.
No, you missed him going to school or going to pick up Michael from school.
Oh, was that in between? This whole movie runs together. He's waiting outside for Michael because he's basically bored during the day, has nothing to do.
Yeah, for 5 hours. And Michael is like, oh my gosh, my older weird brother's here. So he tries to make a run for it, but Buddy catches up to him and they end up in the park.
With the bullies.
Straight into the bully's trap.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have a question. Were these bullies just throwing snowballs at anybody or specifically Michael? Because like Michael just got out of school and yet there's 10 bullies ready for him in the park. Like, how did
just waiting for random people?
Well, I definitely feel like it was one of those older kids. I think, you know, they were older, they got out of school earlier, and that's just what they did for fun. They just waited in the park and picked on the younger kids. I mean, we all remember walking home. You know, a lot of mischief happened walking home right outside on these streets.
I got home safely. I don't know.
I threw a snowball or two.
Oh, so you were the bully.
You know, there's always a bigger fish out there.
Everyone has their phases.
Yeah, there's always a bigger.
I was never a bully. Apparently, these two actually were. You guys were not nice children.
Depends who you ask. You know, it really.
Asking me. You guys were not nice children.
We're nice now, though.
They are nice now.
Yep, repent, and repent.
So over that snowball fight, they basically bond, I feel like. And he even calls him his brother.
Yeah.
So now they're going to go explore
Gimbals.
again, I guess.
They're back.
Where there's just a bunch of scenes where, you know, they're jumping on the bed. They go back to the toy store to see Jovi, and he kind of convinces Buddy to ask her out, which he does, which is so cute.
Yeah. You want food? Or what did he say? Would you like to eat?
I don't remember how he gets her out.
I think he says, do you want to eat? And then she was like, I'm free Thursday, which in movies, nobody ever sets a plan. I'm free Thursday at 7:00. You can come pick me up. It's just, I'm free Thursday. And they just show up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But she did get it, or he did get it. So it's cute. I love them together.
Good job, buddy. Way to seal the deal.
Yeah. But then he goes to his dad's.
Yes.
And his dad's basically trying to keep him busy. He doesn't want him interrupting him. So he has him sitting like in a corner. He tries coffee for the first time.
Coffee with some mix, right? Oh, no.
No.
This is the first cup of coffee, which led him to the next cup, which was a little bit more hysterical than the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. And he basically offers him to go to the mailroom.
Makes it seem like a magical place.
Yeah. It sounded magical when he describes it.
Way more diverse than Santa's workshop.
That's true.
I mean, Santa's workshop was just basically white elves, and the mailroom was people of all creeds.
Very true.
So all the mail that comes into that building gets sent out from that room all over the world is how his dad basically described it.
Oh,
that's how mailrooms work.
What? So there's a mail. So let's break it down. There's a mailroom in the Empire State Building that's sending. They made it seem like they're sending it out. They got all these tubes all around. Like, why can't they just, you know?
Dominic, they're sending the mail to the floors of the Empire State Building, not to places in the world.
Yeah, they should just have a mailroom where they walk in and check a little like locker or something, get their mail. Seems like wasted money for jobs.
Clearly, Dominic's never worked in a corporate environment.
No, not one day. I'm a freelance human at the moment.
Well, so he goes down to the mailroom and makes friends with the lovely people down there.
Yeah.
I've another big question in my mind, guys. So the friend that he makes down in the mailroom, right, seems like a intimidating character, to say the least, from the very beginning. I think he shares a cup of coffee with Buddy, right?
Irish coffee.
Gives him some syrup, right? Takes the whole thing. Next thing you know, the scene, they're hanging out in the bins, the mail bins, they're laughing. I think there was more than coffee in there and some more syrup. But then his friend states that he's only 26.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And I remember looking at it and I'm like, if that guy's 26, I wonder what I'm going to look like, because
he's had a hard life.
Yeah,
I guess so. But he's trying to get it together with the conversation with Buddy. So hopefully he got it together. But 26 was
rough for him. And then the random tag team song,
classic.
Yeah,
comes
but
in,
then doing like a Russian dance.
Yeah. I mean, he's having fun nonetheless.
Yeah.
And while they're in the mailroom, his dad is basically upstairs under pressure, trying to fix a mistake that they made by sending books out with blank pages. And they literally have no idea or no thoughts on a new story. So they have to bring in Miles Finch, another writer.
Peter Dinklage the Great.
So, yeah. And they end up calling Walter, saying that in the middle of their meeting.
Yeah, you gotta come get your son.
Yeah, because he's wreaking havoc down here.
Yeah.
Never put Miles on hold.
But he agrees to come.
He'll still show up.
Yeah.
Only if his car is exactly 71 degrees and he needed a special car and all kinds of stuff. I mean, could you imagine that life? It'd be great.
I would love that.
Celebrity.
I'll take it. But and are we reminiscing about what we would ask for?
No. How would we reminisce about what we'd ask for? We never asked for it.
That's true.
I've been asking my whole life.
Yeah. So he sets up this meeting, but this is going to happen on actual Christmas Eve, I believe, if I remember.
Yeah.
So he's yet again going to miss Christmas Eve holidays with his family. And when he does end up having that meeting, Buddy bursts in because he's gone on this wonderful date with Jovi, and he's in love, which is very cute because they ice skate together.
Yeah.
He takes her to
see all the Christmas trees.
The world's best cup of coffee.
Yeah, when it's not.
Yeah.
Congrats, guys. You did it. Finally did it.
Yeah. But he goes in and busts into this meeting, just wanting to share his happy day with him. And the dad, freaks out and basically says, get out of my life. You're not my son.
Best scene in the movie for me. Peter Dinklage is a boss, and anything that he does, he just elevates it so much higher. And it's an unfortunate joke and stereotype that they're playing into. It's low hanging fruit for sure, but Peter Dinklage, he's just such a great actor. He's so good. And he just makes that scene so funny because he's just really taking it to Will Ferrell. Like he is beating Will Ferrell up and is like super pissed off while he's like trying to explain about a peach that like goes to the farm. He's super intense about this peach, wants this peach to be heard.
Yeah.
He's just great.
Yeah.
Peaches are very vulnerable, by the way. Much more vulnerable than tomatoes.
What's that Japanese story with the peach?
Momotaro the Peach Boy.
Oh yeah. I love that story. But anyways. So he gets kicked out and poor Buddy's out in New York City all alone.
It's cold. He has nowhere to go. Can't get back up to the North Pole. So what is he going to do?
But he sees Santa.
Yeah, which
in the sky.
Yeah,
crashing.
but he goes to like, I don't know. I was a little scared. It might just be my adult brain. I kind of thought he was going to jump off the bridge.
Oh, that scene?
Yeah, because he just goes to the bridge and he's like, I'm useless. I have nowhere to be. And then he sees Santa. I'm like, I think that's like a historic spot for people to do that, unfortunately.
Poor thing.
I think they were just trying to show the prettiness of the skyline and whatnot, the bridge.
I'm sure.
I'm just morbid. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I didn't think that.
It's a Christmas movie.
It's a Wonderful Life is about suicide. That's a Christmas movie.
This is true. This is different times.
But he does see Santa crashing and he goes to find him in Central Park and he ends up finding Santa who, what is it? His engine
all of a sudden kerplunked because there's no Christmas cheer.
Yeah. And he, Santa hypes Buddy up saying, I need you to help me fix my sleigh. You are an elf. Yeah.
Do it.
And all of a sudden he gets this new
lease on life.
Yeah. Like he really is an elf and a human. He can do both.
Just really shows what you can do when you believe in yourself, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that was what they were trying to, a big underlining point of the movie is, believe in yourself and do what makes you feel happy. And then you'll find yourself in the end. And that's when it kind of tied in at the end, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. And he does, at this point, his family is actually looking for him because Buddy leaves a note that he
left.
Yeah.
And Michael goes and gets Walter in the middle of that big meeting with his boss. And he's just like, you know what? I got to go find my son.
Yeah. And they, he actually did.
Apparently. I mean, did he?
Yeah. Well, I think it was kind of like on the understanding, like if you leave, you're fired, and he left.
Yeah.
But big news, comes back with something.
Yeah. But they're looking for him, and it's sweet because there's a bond between now Michael and the father, which there really wasn't one throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And they're looking for Buddy in Central Park. And now you've got, all the citizens, the community is gathering around in the park.
Yeah, because it was Christmas Eve, right?
Well,
the parade or the fair?
No, I think it was because they saw something, so they sent the news out, and then it started a gathering, and then the police or the Rangers
Central Park Rangers.
Where did they come from?
They look like knights, like it was coming out of a Lord of the Ring movie. Like they really turned it up a notch with the.
Those aren't real, are they?
Yeah, they have horses in New York, like a horse unit.
Yeah. Are they Clydesdales though?
No, I think they're just other horses.
I don't know, but they're intense.
12-handers, if you guys know horse talk, it's how many hands you can fit on the horse. It's a big horse.
Well, they're intense, and
they were an unnecessary side plot that did not get explored. That's what they are.
Yeah, but
I saw horses running through Central Park. I think it was majestic, and said, "Wow, like we're really far out of the city." Didn't happen.
Yeah, it could be, but they're helping Santa fix his sleigh while fighting off these park rangers, while
trying to distract them.
Yeah, while Jovi and Michael are trying to get the Christmas spirit up in the community. So his sleigh can actually fly without that engine.
Because Michael steals Santa's book to show the world that Santa's real, because we forgot to say, his sleigh runs off of Christmas spirit. So people have to believe in him.
Yeah. And they end up getting the crowd going, actually.
By singing a Christmas song.
So all can hear. The best way to spread Christmas cheers so all can hear.
Sing so all can hear. But I want to know, why are this many people, especially small children, watching the news? Like one girl is literally
in her bed by herself.
Yeah, she's like in her canopy bed watching her TV. I'm like, you're privileged. You got a TV in your canopy bed. You are privileged, girl.
Goes right after the Flintstones. But I mean, I'll be honest. I just started watching the news like a year ago. So those kids were a lot better off. Started earlier than I did.
Wow, you're gonna admit that on recording? Okay.
But
We live in Alaska, or at least I do. So I mean, not a whole lot going on, but we're closer to Santa than anyone else, I'd say.
Cool. So
What a tangent, Dom. What a tangent.
they end up getting the Christmas spirit up, and his sleigh flies, and Buddy is, he's the hero.
Home. I mean, when Santa took off and they got that sleigh back up in the air, they almost took off some head caps, but he was gone. I mean, my question is, everybody there saw, right? But they got the news crew, the cameras just down. It's Times Square. It wasn't Times Square, but we're talking New York. They got no video cameras around. I mean, I want to see some real hard evidence. I understand it's against the movie, but there's no cameras.
It's faith. You don't need evidence. Faith.
It's the Christmas spirit.
You have to just believe.
Happy holidays, guys.
Wow.
I actually like that they didn't show, because that's the whole story behind Santa.
It was special for those people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And those people, they don't need to see him to believe him.
Yeah. And they kind of end the movie with Buddy, like he ends up being with Jovi. They have a little baby. They show him like at the North Pole with Papa Elf. And then his family too, with Walter and Michael.
I'm a family.
Yeah, all together, which is a very sweet ending.
And Walter's new book is Buddy's story, which now brings him into, I think now he's like Hobbs and Son is his new publishing, which is like a big deal because he didn't even want to believe that Buddy was his kid at first.
Yeah.
Now they got a business.
Yeah. So it comes full circle, which is very sweet, I think.
Great book. It's a great book. I wonder, they should have actually printed that, to be honest. I think if they printed out the Elf book and told the story book-wise, it would do pretty good.
I bet you they did, and we just probably didn't buy it.
Probably.
You missed out.
They don't know how to read.
That's random.
I don't know how to
Rude.
Just kidding,
Rude.
they do. They're just not readers like me.
Yeah, we don't read in our spare time.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, that's the end of Elf and the movie of his story.
That sounded weird.
I feel like it's just one of those iconic movies, no matter, that's going to be around for a while. It's just a Christmas movie. But how many people?
Wait, hold your comment, because it may be what Nicole's going to ask us.
Uh-oh.
And you can elaborate.
The true question of all our podcasts is whether this movie still holds up today or if it's just nostalgia.
Dominic?
Well, I like the question. I'm going to take it a little bit deeper as the first guest on the podcast.
Gosh.
Not only is it nostalgic, but do you watch it outside of Christmas season? That's, if you have a movie that is tied with a theme or a holiday, do you watch it outside of Christmas?
Do you?
The question's not really for me, but thank you for asking.
You posed the question.
I would say if it's on Netflix and if it's on some stuff, I don't have the DVD personally. I do like watching it from time to time, but I mean, I hadn't seen Elf maybe in 5 years until last night.
They run it every year.
Yeah. So the answer to the original question, do you think it's nostalgia or does it hold up? Do you need us to explain?
I think
Sounds like nostalgia.
I think it holds. I think it holds up. For me, I don't get a whole lot of nostalgia. I'm going to be honest. Watching Elf, it's a great movie. Will Ferrell, just amazing actor. All the side roles and other parts in that great story. But I don't get a whole lot of nostalgia from it. Yeah. Besides the snow globe. which we're still waiting for the question about the snow globes. I have not seen a real snow globe in like at least 10 years.
I'll buy you one for Christmas.
Yeah, clearly, we're just gonna buy you one for Christmas. Personally, I think that the movie holds up. I think that it is something that has become a Christmas classic for the millennial generation, just like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Christmas Story had for the generations before. However, I will say personally, this is not my favorite Christmas movie, nor is it one that I would gravitate towards. I love Will Ferrell, everybody in it, but I just think that what people might like about this movie is that it has that nostalgic Christmas feeling of the movies of the past, but it's made for adults. And like it keeps that goofy Christmas kid spirit, but like it's an adult movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it still holds up, but it's not on my Christmas wheel.
Mm-hmm. I probably disagree. Whoa! I mean, I think it holds up, but it's one that I do watch every single year.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
We can like different things.
They run it every year, and it's one of the ones up there with like Home Alone that I watch every year.
But you don't have it on DVD. I mean, I know that's a real
I
crazy
actually
thing.
do have it on DVD.
Oh, okay. Take that back. She has it on DVD. So, I mean,
yeah, I just don't watch it. It's easier to go through the apps now, but
we've become lazy with the access to the apps.
Yeah. DVDs are now nostalgic.
Yeah. Do DVDs hold up or are they nostalgic? Next week's episode.
But with that being said, we really appreciate all you tuning in this week, watching Elf. We want to thank you, Dominic, for coming and sticking around with us. Maybe we'll have you on another episode.
Merry Christmas a couple days ago because we didn't do one. We did last week's episode before Christmas. This is now after Christmas. We hope you guys had a wonderful time with your friends and family and that Santa brought you all you wanted.
Exactly. And definitely we appreciate all the support that you have given us so far, both on YouTube and on our podcast platforms. We really appreciate all those, the comments, the downloads and everything.
Likes, subscribes.
Exactly. And if you still love us, continue to support us. We would appreciate any comments. Is Elf a movie that you watch every year? Do you have another Christmas movie that sticks out in your mind? What
about the snow globes?
Exactly.
On the snow globes. Also too, I'm dedicated now for all you guys out there. Please let us know in the comments if you guys want to see, the burp challenge, the Elf burp challenge, please let us know now. And I, as the youngest of three, the best of three, will get it going.
Whoa.
That's a bold statement.
Whoa. This is our podcast.
Yes, we invited you here.
Okay.
But so next week we're going to be watching Gremlins.
Woo!
For another one of our holiday movies.
Ringing out 2022 with Gremlins.
Yes. So be sure to, if you haven't seen that movie, be sure to watch it this week.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I think that's a wrap.
That's pun intended.
It was Christmas and we unwrapped, but now we just wrapped.
And with that, I think it's a wrap. Thanks for being here with us, guys. We will see you next week. We appreciate you. Merry Christmas and eventually a Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.